Hello and good morning. I'll speak in English, unfortunately. I don't speak Ukrainian or Russian particularly well, but I'll speak in English. I first would like to take the opportunity to welcome you. The tasks that we have outlined for the next 2 days are quite ambitious, and I think that because there's a lot of work to do and a lot of things that we have to accomplish because we have difficult times ahead. And I welcome you. I hope the best for us and very productive work. I'd like to say a few things. First of all, to introduce the project. I think we've had the opportunity to be able to work with or at least be known to most of the people in the room. But I'd like to say a few things. First of all, the project started about 21 months ago, so we're about halfway through it right now. And as the name suggests, support to Ukraine's regional development policy is meant to be able to assist Ukraine to develop regional development policy at all levels, primarily at the national level, but also at the office level as well. We focus on 3 different areas. The first is to be able to develop the policy frameworks that are required. And in this area, we've supported the government of Ukraine to be able to develop the regional development strategy at the national level, and in the process now of supporting the development of the operational program for the national strategy to 2020. We are also in the process of supporting regions in developing regional development strategies and operational programs, which are critical because regional development is complicated because it brings in many different aspects. So to be able to plan both multi-sectoral interventions at the same time as looking at multi-year, sometimes out to 7 years in advance, and at the same time trying to be able to deal with the dreams and the wishes and the intentions of individuals, peoples, and business climates and NGOs. It's complicated, so we have to be able to work through complicated processes and put it on paper so that people can agree in the direction we're going. It's critical. And in addition to this work, we do a lot of work on trying to be able to support the concept of depressiveness, for example, and developing monitoring systems for Ukraine to be able to develop a better framework for regional development in Ukraine. We also are supporting the development of a professional network of regional development professionals. And I do see in the audience today members of our Regionet network. Yesterday, as some may know, or maybe those that don't all inform, the second annual conference, the second annual meeting of the Regionet professional network happened. And it grows and it builds, and the intention here is to be able to look at the individual in the framework of regional development, because regional development is not just about governments. Regional development is about people, and in fact, it's mostly about people who benefit from the actions that are implemented in regional development, but also people that implement regional development. So the European Union, when it was designing this project, not only wanted to look at the normal suspects and the normal people in defining regional development, which is the government, but also to focus on individuals. And it'll take a long time to be able to develop this professional network, but I think it's becoming solid and it's working well. And in connection with the institutional partners, such as the Association of Australian Councils and the government and AUC and many other partners, I think there's a very good chance that we'll assist in the professionalization, I think, in developing a good networks in this area. And the third area that our project supports is this grants facility that the European Union is assisting Ukraine to be able to develop regions. Initially, the first part was focused mostly on regional development, core regional development. And recently, the focus has changed a bit to be able to look at refugees and internally displaced peoples from the problems and the fighting in the east, which is an immediate need. So these things are basically what we're doing now. And then on top of that, we try to be able to support and assist anything in regional development because it's so complicated in so many ways. And as such, we look forward to partnering or working with whoever is working in regional development for the betterment of Ukraine. I'd like to say, to dispel a myth, which kind of fits into this whole concept of regional development. Many think that many people look at regional development differently, and there's many different ways of looking at regional development. But there are certain truisms, certain things that form regional development. And there's one myth that I'm always confronted with, that regional development is a governmental thing. Regional development is implemented in the past by the national government, or by regional governments, or by municipal governments. Well, that's not really true. Governments representing people, and the people are the main focus of regional development, indeed, work on behalf of people to be able to plan effectively. But really what we talk about when we talk about regional development, we talk about the private sector too. The private sector is critically important because private sector basically creates jobs. And in that way, and pays taxes, and supports the development and well-being of people, which is really the focus of what regional development is. It's about individuals. It's about creating well-being with people and in people so that people's lives are better. And that's why regional governments and national governments are involved, because they should be involved in ensuring that people's lives become better over time. And that's what regional development is. And so we have to be able to dispel that myth that it's only about the public sector. It's not. It involves numerous actors. And today, in this forum, we'll not just be looking at regional development, we'll also be looking at the private sector and what opportunities exist within the private sector with respect to the changes that are happening with the association agreement. But this is all part of one big process. And this is kind of important. And I'd just like to say one last thing. I don't want to speak too long, but we all know that Ukraine is at a crossroads right now. When we look at the scenarios, the positive scenarios, and I've always been positive about Ukraine. I've been here 10 years now, and I love this country, and I think that in many ways it's become my second country. And I see the opportunities of this place. I see that in this country, like I find that there are very few countries on the planet, and I say this many times, where you can just take seeds and throw them on the ground and they'll grow. And when you find people who want to work, and this is rare, that you have these components, these things that are put together here. And what's required is not to get people moving, but to unchain them, to be able to remove the barriers that have been put in place by different systems, by different individuals at times, to be able to unlock the potential of Ukraine. And this is all we have to do. And it's harder in some places in the world where we have to be able to take people and make them move. Ukrainians are just chained. And when we unchain them, then it'll go, and then it'll grow. And this is the great hope. But we have some challenges now, some big challenges that we have to face. And I think that through forums such as this, where we can talk frankly and openly, how we have to answer the questions about how do we solve these challenges. We know that judicial reform is critically important. We know the rule of law is critically important here as well. We know that we have to have effective governance, multi-level governance, because without it, we can't plan. Without it, we can't focus on the future. Without it, people can't dream. And that's what this is about. And I hope and wish for today that we work hard over the next 2 days to be able to get these issues out in the open, try to be able to solve these issues. We have a declaration, a manifesto, which we hope to be able to finalize tomorrow and publish, to be able to say that we, the people who are involved, practitioners of regional development, practitioners within the private sector, practitioners in the NGO sector, which are focused on the development of this country. These are the things that we need to do to be able to grow and to develop and realize the potential of our regions and of the country. And hopefully we'll be able to make that statement clear. So good luck, work hard, and again, lastly, I'd like to welcome you. I'd like to say one last thing, sorry. And to thank my team and the organizers which have organized this event. There's a lot of people that spend a lot of time and a lot of hours trying to be able to make sure that this works. And these are complicated things to do. So I'd like to thank the organizers, and I'd like to thank my team particularly, Yuri Tretchak, Olga Grigorchenko, Mariana Savruk, Pavel Kasinov. These are people that I work with every day, but have worked hard to be able to develop. And I also like to thank Despro, who work closely with us, who have been partnering with us for a long time, and in this one as well. So thank you very much, welcome, and good luck.